All right, everybody. Thank you guys for stopping by, and we're going to get started right now. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me and everything. So please, if you can, just let me know you can hear me in the chat box. And if there are any issues that you guys see, please let me know so we can get those ironed out before we get started. So, we're going to talk about power meters and uh, let's see. Okay, you can hear me. That's great. So we'll talk about power meters, and we're going to talk about bike trainers. And let me first off say that I'm not an expert. Far from it. I just got started cycling, so there's a lot of things that I don't know. So I'm just going to kind of give you my situation, my story, kind of where I want to go with getting power meter, getting a bike trainer, because ultimately I'm gonna get both, but which one do you get right now? That's kind of the more important thing that I want to discuss today. So I'll show you a couple of bike trainers that I'm looking at right now, and as well as the power meter that I'm looking at. And then, like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just starting out. If you guys have more expertise or anything, if you just want to add stuff, please add to the chat, and we can start talking about different things. As far as maybe a power meter that you use right now. I don't have a power meter. I don't have a bike trainer. So if you're using something right now that you really like that you would recommend, please post it in the chat, and we can talk about it. And then hopefully other people can get some different ideas as far as what they want to get, and we'll just kind of work it like that. So every Monday we'll be doing a live stream, and like I said, for me it's more about a community thing. I want to help. I want to be helped, and I want to also help people if I can, and then just also talk about just the struggles of just getting started out riding a bike and things like that. Because I've gone through some struggles, and I've been riding for 7 weeks now. And just like a good example, this week I wasn't feeling well, so I went out. I usually like to ride. I'm off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so I usually like to ride on all 3 days. So I don't do hard rides on all 3 days, but I do like to ride all 3 days. And in this, let me get my mic actually on me. I just realized it wasn't on me. Okay. Um, so I like to ride all 3 days. And this Saturday I didn't ride. I got out on Sunday and I rode, and then today I didn't ride. So I only rode once this week. I consider a week just my 3 days off, and that was the first time I ever did that. Usually I'm riding at least 3 times a week. There are rare occasions where I'll ride twice a week, and I want to improve that. That's not acceptable for me just to ride those amount of days. But due to my work schedule, it's a little tough to fit it in unless I go in the morning before I go to work. Which, yeah, I'm not one of those guys that loves getting up early in the morning and going for a ride. I would rather get up in the morning time, but not early in the morning to go. So that's something that I'm struggling with right now. So anyway, this week I didn't feel good this weekend, so I didn't go Saturday because I didn't feel well. I was feeling sick. I went Sunday. I was still feeling sick, but I went ahead and went. And then after that, today is just like I had some other things to do. I still wasn't feeling good, and so I didn't go. So I didn't have the motivation this week to go. And it's funny because I didn't have the motivation, although when I did go yesterday, I felt really good. So yeah, it's one of those things. You just have to kind of push yourself a little bit. It is worth it in the long run. But so anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's see, what are we writing in here in the chat? Power meter, but either is a lot of core. Yeah, I agree with that. So what I want to talk about today is, should you get a power meter first, or should you get a bike trainer? And that's kind of the main thing I want to talk about. Power meters, are great, and this is let me just kind of explain to you where I'm looking at how I'm looking at this, and then I would love for you guys in the chat to tell me your opinions on which one should you get first. Now I already said I want to get both, so I am going to get both eventually, but I'm looking at just kind of like what I was saying. I have 3 days off. I like to ride on those 3 days, but it doesn't always work where I can ride on those 3 days. I would like to increase my riding to at least 5 days out of the week. So how can I do that? How can I realistically do that? Like I told you, if I'm working, I can get up early in the morning and go prior to work. But I would be more comfortable at this point getting a bike trainer right now so I can increase. So let's say I ride 3 times on the weekends, Thursday, and then take Friday off, and then ride Saturday, Sunday, Monday, kind of do it like that. I think I would be much more successful because that's more realistic. I can do it when I get off work. And another situation too is when I get off work, it's usually 5 or 6 o'clock. Right now, we moved our clocks up, I think. I can't even remember, but it gets dark at 5 o'clock. So I'm not a big fan of riding at night. So that's another thing that I'm thinking about too. I don't want to ride at night. So I want to be in a situation where I can, get a bike trainer so I don't have to ride at night, and I can, use a trainer when I get off work. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Now I know overall you're probably going to want, you probably will want a power meter just so you can see what you're doing when you're out riding, as opposed to being, on a bike trainer in your place. But still, that's something that I'll get the bike trainer, and then maybe a month and a half later get the power meter. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. So let's see what we're talking about here. I have a smart trainer with Zwift. It works well for me considering the climate. Yeah, and that's what I want to get to, Zwift. I've seen a variety of different videos on YouTube about Zwift, and I'm very interested in getting that. Makes it kind of a video game. I like playing video games, so I don't know, that would probably help motivate me. Let's see, the 2 issues with power meter. The first is weather, the second is workouts if you don't. Yeah, David, that's true. So, let's see what else you say. Doing a structured workout can be tricky. So, David, let me know how you do your structured workouts. Like, it can be tricky, but how do you actually do it? Yeah, let's see. Smart trainer subscription Zwift, $14.99 a month. Really a nice app. Okay. And another thing too, when it comes to Zwift, and that's something that, like I said, I'd be interested in. So getting a bike trainer and then using Zwift. For those of you who don't know, Zwift is like it's, from what I'm seeing, and I don't have any personal experience with it, but it's pretty much like a video game. You're watching yourself on a bike. It's kind of like what was that game called, Second Life or something like that, where you're an actual person and there are other people that are all in this game, I guess you can say, and you can ride together. So you can do group rides with people, you can do races with people, you can just ride on your own if you want, and you can meet people and all that stuff. And basically, it's all set up to your bike trainer. So your speed and all that, your cadence and all that is recorded. Your power is recorded on Zwift, and then you just kind of ride along. And so it just makes it a little more interesting, a little more fun, because you can do things with other people, although you're at home riding on your bike trainer. Let's see. I do them all Zwift right now. Okay. How often do you guys usually ride Zwift a week? Is it something that you do maybe once or twice a week, or is it something, do you do Zwift more than you do, or do you use your bike trainer and use Zwift more than you actually get outside? What's that? What do you guys do when it comes to that? Let's see. Okay. Okay. David, tell me what is Exert? What is that? Because I haven't heard of that before. Okay, so T-Bar 4 says you use it every other day now. So that means when you're using it, are you writing outside at all? Are you using Zwift one day and then writing out the next day, then using Zwift? Or are you just using Zwift pretty much all the time? So that's kind of where I am. And I don't really know, like I've done some research when it comes to different trainers, and I'd love to know if there's anybody that uses trainers, what trainers that you guys are using. The one that I'm looking at right now is the Wahoo Kicker, and I think it goes for Wahoo Kicker Core. Let me see, I have it here. I'll pull up my my screen with the display. Let's see here. Okay, you guys don't want to see that. Okay, so the Wahoo Kicker, this is what I'm looking at right now on one of these trainers. And the one that I really like is not the higher end one, but the one that's $8.99. I believe that's the price. Yeah, so it's the Kicker Core. That's the one that I'm looking at. So it's this one right here. So $8.99. The other one, it offers some other things, but I think it offers cadence as well as, I think there was some other stuff on there. Not really, the difference isn't drastic enough for me to want to pay. I think you also get the, let's see. I knew I saw all the stuff on here, but yeah. Okay, yeah, you get the cassette. So if you pay the additional, what is it, $11.99, you get the cassette plus you get, I think, cadence or something like that. With this one, $8.99, you have to buy your own cassette, but cassettes you can get them for what, like $50. So it's really not that much more expensive. You can pretty much save money. I already have my cadence and speed sensor and all that stuff on my bike, and so just getting this, I could save some money and then just buy my own cassette. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Let's see. Let me move this over because I'm losing the chat here. Let's see. Okay. And you guys are gonna have to bear with me. This is the first live stream I've ever done, so there are gonna be some issues just because I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. So let's see, what do we have in our chat for right now? Let's see, Smart Coaching Service, that keeps track of your rising efforts. Okay, so David, you're saying that Exert is like it's a coaching service, huh? Okay, that's cool. But actually coaches. Okay, so St. Louis. So T-Bar saying St. Louis is really, the weather's really bad right now. So you're pretty much indoors. Wow, and David, you're doing 4 to 5 days on Zwift, huh? Does Zwift, I have another question too. Just, does Zwift record to like Strava, or how does that work? Do you guys use it for Strava? Are you able to record a ride, I guess, using Zwift? Because that's another thing that I was curious about, just because, I mean, I still want to be able to record to show that I'm actually doing something, and I just want to keep track. My main thing is not to show off, but at least to have a record of the stuff that I'm doing, because I want to be able to let people know. All right, let people know that I just said it, but let myself know, hey, yeah, I worked out this day, even though it's not showing that I worked out. Okay, so it uploads directly to Strava. That's cool. That's something I was interested to know. And another thing too about, and I'm getting all this, you guys are giving me all this info. Like I said, I'm here learning. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know, and This helps a lot, just us talking back and forth about different things. Um, let's see. Another thing too, as far as, oh God, I lost my train of thought. I had something I was going to say and I can't remember now. Okay, what's this link here? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. So it says virtual ride. All right, that's cool, and it actually shows you where you rode on a virtual ride. That's really cool. All right. Um, yeah, so that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the bike trainer. Um, what do you guys think about that? Have you guys have any experience with bike trainers? Or obviously you're using something. So what are you guys using now? And would you recommend it? Or one thing that I like with the Wahoo KICKR is I live in an apartment, so I don't want it to be too noisy. That's my main thing. So if I can find something that is quiet, that's what I want. And just looking at some of the reviews on the KICKR, it seems to be doesn't make the noise that some of these other bike trainers make. So that's something that I'm looking at as well. Okay, David, what are you saying here? Looks like this. Exactly the same. About 2 years ago. I know how it is. Oh, which wheel-off trainer did you get, David? Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at for that. Now, I don't want to skip ahead, but actually we'll skip ahead and then come back. 2018 Wahoo trainers are super silent, I've been told. Yeah, and that's what I heard too, David. I heard that they're very silent, and that's what I'm looking for. I don't want to get anything that's going to make a lot of noise. I don't want to invest a lot of money in something and then find out that it's just really noisy, and then I won't be able to use it because of that. So, or I'll feel funny about using it, so I don't want to disturb my neighbors. So that's one of the things that I was thinking about getting this one. The other thing too, like I said, I'm getting this probably in the next couple of weeks, if everything works out, and then in probably early January, the middle of January probably, I want to get a power meter, and I'm still I don't know what kind of power meter I want to get because there are so many different types now, and I don't know if I want to get the pedals. And the pedals, I'm really leaning toward the pedals. The main reason is I want to be able to, I only have one bike now, but in the future I do plan to get at least one more bike, and I want to be able to switch them out. And so that's another thing that I'm thinking about. It's easy to switch out if they're just pedals, as well as just different. I've heard some pretty good things about the pedals, and so that's why I'm really looking into those. And for me, it seems like it's the easiest thing that I can install, even install myself. The issues that I'm thinking about right now, I want to get a bike fit. So obviously, like I got the just bike fit when I got the bike, but I haven't had anything professionally done yet. So I want to get that, and so I want to get the pedals prior to getting that, just because I want them to be able to set everything up the right way. So that's going to put my bike fit off for another month and a half, 2 months. So that's something else that I'm kind of thinking about too. Right now, though, just riding the bike, not knowing that much, but just riding the bike, I feel good. I feel comfortable on the bike, but I still want to get that bike fit just so I know exactly what it feels like to be fit to a bike, because I've never been fit to a bike. So right now I'm thinking, I feel good, but I could feel even better. So that's something that I want to do in the future. So that's my plan for the 2 months. We kind of just I went over it in a nutshell. Let's look at some more of the chats here. Let's see. Okay, so T-Bar, let's see, you have the Elite brand trainer. Okay, so customer service isn't very good with that, looks like. Okay, so Elite trainers. Yeah, and I don't even know the different brands. All I know is Wahoo right now, and the only reason I know Wahoo is because I got their cadence and their speed sensor. So I haven't really done a lot of research on all the other bike trainers, just because the main thing is when I saw that the Wahoo KICKR was really quiet, that's what drew me to it. And so I didn't really look at all the other trainers that are out there. And I want to have one where I can take the back wheel off. I just don't want to wear the tire down just using it indoor. And I don't want to have to buy one of those other tires that you can buy. It's just, for me, it seems like it would be just a lot easier to get that Wahoo KICKR for $8.99 and then buy a cassette and just take my back wheel off. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Another thing too, that's what I forgot about. What I lost train of thought when I was talking about was Zwift. What kind of computers are you guys using? Are you using a laptop? Are you using like a gaming computer? Are you using the Apple TV, I think you can use? What are you guys using when it comes to that? Because ultimately for me, I would love to live stream a session on Zwift. So I don't know what Apple TV. I've never had an Apple TV. I don't have any Apple products. I'm not big on Apple when it comes to their products. So I'm Android, and I know you can't use it, like you can't use an Android tablet or anything like that. So ultimately, I would want to know what I'm using as far as computers. So is it going to be? Am I going to have to go out and get another computer? I have 2 laptops here. I have the laptop I use for most of my editing. Then I also have a laptop that I use for just kind of, it really just sits around. I don't use it for that much, but it's there kind of as a backup. So I was considering maybe using that one as well. Let's see, what are we talking about? I got it hooked up to a TV. It's not a gaming computer, but it does. Okay. Oh, so they have one in beta right now, Android app. Huh? Okay, that's good, David. That's ultimately, I've had Android I've never had an app. Like the only Apple phone that I have is my work phone, but other than that, everything is Android. Tablets, I've never gotten any of what is it? I can't even think, iPad, all that stuff. I'm not really into that. Okay, so T-Bar 4, the Apple 4 TV, the Ziff, so it broadcasts on 55-inch. Okay, so that's my question, I guess, is with Apple TV, can you stream? That's the main thing. Because if you can't stream, then there's no reason for me to get it. I would just get the computer and use that to stream. Yeah. So so going back, and I know I'm jumping back and forth, but I'm going over to the chat and then coming back. And so with the power meter, the one that I've been looking at, I've been looking for the pedals. So the one that I really like is the Favaro, the Duo, and I think is this the Duo? Yeah, this is a Duo here, and that goes. I think it's about, how much was it? $647 or something like that. I'm scrolling through fast here. But they. Okay. Okay, so this is the one I'm looking at here. So the Duo, and that's $647. So those are the pedals that I'm looking at. Like I said, I want to get those, and then I'll get the proper bike fit after I get those. And so I'm gonna wait for at least. Hopefully I'll have those within 2 months. But so that's kind of my plan. And I know I've talked to some people, and they said, no, you should get get the power meter first, and then get the kicker, or get a bike trainer. But my whole thing is I want to just start riding more, and I'm at a point right now where I'm not riding enough. I want to ride more, and the only way that I can logically ride more, is by getting a bike trainer. So that right there takes priority over getting a power meter, and eventually I will get to that point where I want to improve and continue improving, and I think a power meter is one way to help me do that. But right now I just want to ride more, and so that's why I'm focused on getting the bike trainer. So that's where I am. All right, so do you guys have any questions or any tips? When was the last time you guys went out and rode? How far did you go? All that good stuff. My last ride, like I said, was yesterday, and I only went like 13 miles. I'll have a long, if I ride all 3 days on my days off, then I'll usually put a long ride in there. I've gone 20 miles, 40 miles, and 50 miles. So that's kind of been, those are the longer end rides. Actually, I went 27 miles. So 20 miles, 27, 40, and 50. And then the other rides are they're generally around 10 miles. And that's only, like I said, right now I'm just learning my body, learning how to ride, and seeing what I can do. Going 50 miles was tough. Like, I got out there, and I live in Orange County, California, so I got out, rode all the way to the beach. So we have a riverbed where you can ride to the beach, and it's actually a really nice ride. Got out to the beach. It was about 22, 23 miles to get to the beach. And then I headed back, and I was doing really good until I hit I'd say about 36, 37 miles in, and then my legs just turned to mush, like Jello. And so I had to take a break, and I took a couple of breaks on the way, but I took a break, and then on that break, I took one break, and then I started riding again, and my legs just, you've been in that, I think we've all been in the situation where you're pedaling, and then you just can't pedal anymore. You just don't feel like pedaling. And so your legs are just tired of pedaling. And so I dropped down in gears to make it easier and try to keep pedaling, and I just said, you know what, let me take another break. So I took another break. Then I got back on the bike, and then I rode, and I was able to just put it on a low gear and then just ride all the way back. When I got back, it was about 40. I was at about, I think it was about 44, 45 miles that I had ridden at that time. And then I kind of get into this mode where when I ride like that, I want to, if I get 45 miles, I want to get 50. I don't want to leave it at 45. So that's what I did. So I took another break when I got back to the car, and then I went ahead and rode out that last 5 miles, and then came back. But I'm just trying to learn like what my body can do. So I know I can easily do 35 miles, and I've done it. This is the second time I've gone over 35 miles. So I know I can do 35 miles, and I'm fine. But once I start getting into the 36, 37, my body really is starting to tell me, hey, you need to slow down, because you're not gonna be able to finish it, or you'll be able to finish it, but you're gonna have to. Your legs are only go to about 35 miles, and then once it gets past that, then you're gonna probably start struggling. Okay, let's see. We go to the questions here. Let's see. T-Bar. I don't use Apple for anything other than Swift. My phone is Android. Yes, Swift streams via Apple. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool then. We'll have to see how that works. I would like to get like an Apple TV just because I think it's a cheaper option as opposed to getting like a gaming computer. Because I would want to get a gaming computer. If I get a gaming computer, then it's gonna it's going to cost me a lot more money than getting an Apple TV. So I would lean more toward the Apple TV. Let's see, David. I haven't. Anything intense. So, David, are we talking about Zwift, or are you talking about, because he's talking about doing group rides and races. Are you actually doing real races, or are you talking about doing races on Zwift? Yeah, and David's talking about the 100 miles. So it took you a while to get to 50 to 60 miles, and then you still haven't done 100 yet. I would, yeah, I want to get to 100. I think we all kind of think, oh, yeah, you know what? It'd be nice to ride like 100 miles. And I don't even like driving 100 miles, let alone riding 100 miles. I think it would be just, it would really boost my confidence if I can get out there and ride 100 miles. They had, and I'm sure you guys know, but Strava has their little badges that you can get. One of the badges was Grand Fondo ridings. I think it was like 62 or 63 miles in one ride. And so I was going for that. That was last week. So I was actually going for that. It was the last couple of days of the month. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to do that 63 or 62 miles. And so that's why I was out doing the 50 miles. But once I got to 50, it started getting dark, and I was done. And so that's why I didn't finish with it. But I mean, yeah, that's my goal too, is to try to get to 100 as soon as I can. But I don't want to rush myself. And I think David, you said that in there. You have to watch your body and react to what your body's doing. Just like this weekend, my body was telling me, hey, it's you don't you don't need to be riding, even though I wanted to. And that's one thing that's crazy. Like, this is the first time, as far as activities, other than when I was in college, when I was playing football and all that stuff. This is the first time where I've been eager to want to do something that's exercise related. Before, it's just you go to the gym or you go run, which I very rarely ever did, even walking and all that stuff. I never look forward to doing that. But cycling, I look forward to going to cycling all the time, like going riding all the time. And so even when I'm feeling sick, I'm still thinking, I want to do it, but I don't feel good. But I should do it, but I don't feel good. It's kind of like one of those things. And then when I get out, like I went out yesterday and I rode and I felt good. And then today it's just like, I don't feel like, my body doesn't feel like it has the power to ride or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's definitely one of those deals where I'm always looking forward to riding. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so David, yeah, you said Zwift. Okay, so that's another thing too. I think riding group rides on Zwift and races and stuff like that would be really fun. That's another part of the reason why I want to get it. I haven't done an actual group ride. I mean, I've rode with. I'm not talking about Zwift now. I'm talking about like in real life. I've rode with a friend, but I've never like done like a group ride of 2, 3, 4 or more people. So it's just been me and a friend, and usually my friend, she doesn't ride that much, so we usually aren't riding very fast. Like we're taking it easy. We're not like trying to push the envelope when it comes to that. But I definitely, I want to start doing some group rides, actual group rides, and then I want to do some Zwift stuff too. Zwift stuff too. Wow, that's a tongue twister. So I can get out and learn how to use Zwift, and I don't know. I just think it would be fun, and I think it would up my game as far as time on the bike. All right, let's talk about some of the other questions on here. David, yeah, Zwift, okay. We saw that all day adventure. I've got a plan. Right. Wow, about 200 miles in Shanghai? Wow, that would be crazy. 200 miles, 2 days. So I guess you would plan. So David's talking about riding 200 miles in Shanghai. Um, is that something like you have mapped out, like the routes, or you just want to go to Shanghai and then figure it out when you get there? That'd be nice. So David, where are you right now? Are you in China? Or wait, Shanghai. Where's Shanghai? Just Japan? Where are you right now, David? My geography's not so good. Oh, okay, yeah, you're in China. Wow. So are you working out in China? It's interesting. We're gonna go off on a side note for a minute, but or a side topic. Are you working in China? Or are you? All right. Let's bring it back to this screen here. Okay. Oh, you teach. Okay, cool. That's really interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. I've never actually been outside. I've gone to an airport in China, but that's it. I've never actually been out to like walk around in China and all that. So I guess you're teaching English, or are you teaching something else? Wow. So okay, we'll just keep talking while he is answering questions. But um, yeah, so that's where I want to go. I want to get the Wahoo kicker first, and then from there, then I'll get a power meter, and it's just it's going to be it's unconventional. It's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not common to do it this way, I think. And from what I've heard, it's not. And from people I've talked to, it's just not common to get. You're kind of going backwards. Usually you get the power meter first and then get. So I'm doing it this way only because I want to ride more, and I'm not riding more at this time. So that's the main reason. Hey, what time is it in China right now? Just out of curiosity. Oh, you teach elementary school. International school. So you just teach English there then, probably. Like, teach in English, I should say. Okay, 11 a.m. So you're teaching right now. It's 11 a.m. Wow. Yeah. That's that's crazy. And you've been there how long in China? We're going off to a whole different topic of China now. Okay, so let's keep it bike related now. So China, what is it like riding bikes in China? Like, is it? I know I usually ride out in Long Beach area, even pretty much all over um, L.A. and Orange County, and I'm just speaking for these two areas because I ride there a lot. It's very bike friendly, where you'll have bike lanes and dedicated bike lanes. Long Beach has some really nice bike lanes where you're pretty much, and I don't have any pictures of them, but you have your own lane, and you also have your own little signal. So they really go all out in Long Beach when it comes to bike lanes. And then when I do like the beach ride I was saying when I did 50 miles, that bike lane is really nice. And they did have an issue. This is in Orange County, so it's coming from like Anaheim Hills area all the way out to Huntington Beach. That bike path they really made it nice. And prior to let's see, they had an issue with homeless people. Homeless people they had encampments that were all around the bike trail, and they finally got to the point where they got the homeless people out of there, and they relocated them to different places, like I think motels, and they actually moved them to some different housing, so they had housing. But that bike path is nice. I mean, it's the nicest bike path that I've been on out in this area. So I'm just curious to know, like, how is cycling in China? So let's see what David's saying here. Great cycling is a mode of transportation, so I can follow a highway with dedicated path. That's cool. Nearby cities without having to ride and traffic much more. So do you just use your bike, or do you actually have a car as well? Yeah, and I think in the U.S., although we have like certain areas, they really have some dedicated bike lanes and stuff like that. I think we could really benefit from putting more focus on using bikes as a mode of transportation, because now we use it mainly for exercise. I see very few people riding bikes to work and stuff like that as a mode of transportation on a daily basis. Whereas in other countries, I know I've been traveling the last couple of years, I've been going everywhere. And I was in Thailand a couple months ago, in Colombia, Medellin, Colombia. They use bikes a lot out there, but they also use scooters, and it's just a whole different lifestyle. I think if we focus more on these bike lanes and stuff like that, I think it would help our congested traffic that we have all over the city. Let's see. David's saying almost every avenue and boulevard has a path through the long. Okay, that's cool. There's paths everywhere. That's cool. Okay, so he's talking about the bike share programs, and they have those. We have those out here in Long Beach as well, where they have the bike share program. It works really well, and they have those new things now, those birds and the little electric scooters, and they're interesting. They're little electric scooters, but they are kind of a pain in the butt for cyclists, because you're riding and people. And I don't know exactly how it works. I'm sure it's an app or something that people are using, but you pay for, I guess, a certain amount of time to use the scooter, and it's electric. You just get on it and you ride, and then once you get to wherever you want to go, then you just leave the bike there. Well, the problem is, most people will leave the bike upright, like they should, but some people are place, and if they're laying on the side, you're riding your bike, you hit it, and now you have an issue. So, yeah, that's the bike sharing. That's a cool thing. The only thing about the bike sharing is the bikes. I would never ride one of those. The ones they have in Long Beach are just not something that I would ever want to be seen riding on. They're light blue, like a baby blue color, and they're not I know it's just getting from point A to point B, but let me just put it to this in this situation right here. If I had to use some transportation, like a shared transportation, I would probably jump on one of those scooters and go. Even though I'm not getting exercise doing it, because all you're doing is getting on there and pushing the button. But they're not the nicest looking bikes. Okay. So what are your plans, David? Are you planning on staying there for indefinitely, or you have a game plan where you're going to be coming back home? And where's home? Let's see, I only have... Yeah. So yeah, um, it's really interesting. Just and this is fascinating to me. Just to talk to someone from that's living in China right now and cycling, and out here like I'm figuring out because like I said, I just started cycling not too long ago or riding a bike. I keep saying cycling, but I just started riding a bike not too long ago, and it's not that big out here in the U.S. compared to other countries. It's like cycling is everything. I remember when um, I was in Colombia, and I went to Colombia. That was back in May of this year. So I'm out there, and we had a guide because I do a lot of photography. So we had a guide that was taking us all around the country, and I think it was. No, I take that back. It wasn't Colombia. It was Costa Rica, and it was Costa Rica. I went to Costa Rica. Oh God, when did I go to Costa Rica? Oh, I can't even remember when I went to Costa Rica. I think it was the beginning of this year. I went to Costa Rica, and there must have been a big race going on because actually it was last year. I'm sorry. I'm just my brain is all all crazy right now. But I went to Costa Rica last year, and we were out and we had a guide and he was taking us all around all these different places to take pictures. But then he was also taking us to different places like to go shopping and stuff like that. Every place we went to, there was a TV on and people were watching a race. I don't even know what it was. I don't know if it was Tour de France. I don't know what it was, but people were watching the same race, and it was a bike race, and it was like a big deal. And even when I went to Costa Rica, I went to Florida first, and I did a layover in Florida, or not a layover. Did I do a layover? Yeah, I did a layover in Florida, but it was like a long layover, so it was enough time for me to go to a hotel, and so the driver that was bringing me back, big in cycling, like not big in cycling, but he was all into cycling, and he lived in Colombia, and so he was just telling me about his experience, and he rides his bike all the time, and so it's big in other countries, ride your bike and all that. So they're very, very dedicated when it comes to cycling, and that's something that we've tried it, at least in this area in Southern California. They've tried it. They have shut down the road sometime in certain situations and had like I think they call it ciclovilia or something like that day where you go out and you ride. So they do try, but it's not like an all, like in Colombia, in Medellin, every Sunday, and I think it's even one other day during the week, they shut it down and no cars can go on the road and you can ride. Not on all roads. I mean, they just shut the main road down and you can ride your bike. So that's I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe one day we'll get to that where we're that serious about cycling where we allow one day in the morning for everyone to ride their bikes if they want to ride bikes or run and all that stuff. Okay, so let's see, David, what are we saying here? Okay. Oh, you're originally from Oregon. Okay. Cool. That's really cool. So I just wanted to get on here and just kind of talk. And like I said, every Monday we'll just get on. We'll talk about different topics. And I'm hoping to get more people. I'll start promoting it a little bit more so we can get more people in here and have people just share their stories mainly because that's what it's all about. I mean, we all need a motivation. We all need to learn about different ways of riding, different training, different gadgets that we can use to help us. And me just starting out, like this is all good. Like I can't tell you how happy I am from the responses that I'm getting from people on here. I mean, the comments, people are very supportive. I'm gonna follow you on your journey and good luck and all that, because we were all there, right? We were all at a point where we're just starting out, and I don't care. It doesn't even have to be cycling; it could be anything. We all know, we've all been in that situation where you're just starting out. How do you get to how do you learn? How do you find better ways of doing things? And so the support is really really great. So I really appreciate that, and I hope to one day return the favor, and hopefully maybe with the videos that we're doing on here, I can return the favor and say, hey, you know what? Just like David was saying 2 years ago, I was just where you are now, and now I'm here, and this is what I did along the way, and so that's my main goal for the channel. I have another channel, and it deals with travel, and it's not a channel that's really engaging, and that's what I want this channel to be. I want it to be kind of a, not just a one-way street where I'm giving you the information, but more of we're helping each other find out and helping each other deal with the issues and answer questions and all that stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to say in a nutshell. So let's see. I'll read these last couple of questions, and then we're gonna end it here. All right, T-Bar, keep up the good work. I'm down 55 pounds. Wow, good job. Good job. Yeah, good job. I'm nowhere near down 55 pounds. That's great. At this point I've lost like 7 pounds, but I don't want to really focus on that too much because it will just drive me crazy. I'm looking at, first off, I want to do something that I enjoy, and I actually do enjoy writing. Like just getting out, it feels really good. And then second, I want to make sure that I want to get fit, and I want to feel good. And those are my two major goals. And then I want to start eating better, and then hopefully the weight will start coming off. But that's out of all those four things, that's at the bottom of my hierarchy there. So that's kind of where I am. But that's great. 55 pounds. That's how long did it take you to get down to lose that? Just out of curiosity. Yeah. Yeah, long range goal. Yeah, T-Bar, you're right. Yeah. That's like I said, it's I'm looking at it along this angle, and all my life I've been doing, you do stuff to lose weight, but that's the only reason you're doing it, to lose weight. And then when you lose a little weight and you gain a little bit more weight, and then you just say, what, screw this, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I don't want to be like that. I want to do something that I enjoy, and then guess what? I'm losing weight on top of that. When I played football, I never thought about weight. I played football because I enjoyed playing football, and the weight just started coming off, and it got to the point where when you're playing football, you get to a point where you start losing weight, and it's like, oh, I got to eat more because I need to keep the same weight that I'm at. I mean, in order to push guys off me, I got to be a certain weight, right? Or I feel, I don't want to be too light because it's easier for me to get blocked and what have you. So I want to do something where I'm not even thinking about the weight. I'm just doing it because I enjoy doing it. And guess what? I'm losing weight while I'm at it. Because if I lose weight, I can go faster, and then you start getting into that. But that's kind of where I am with that. So 10 months. Wow, that's good. Did you really change your eating habits, or how did you, what was your routine to get down there, to get down on that weight? Because 10 months, I mean, that's a long time, but it's not that long. Like, that's under a year, and you lost 55 pounds, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so let's see, C-bar, slow and steady, 1 to 2 pounds a week. It's healthy. It's really slow. Yeah, yeah. So 1 or 2 pounds a week. Yeah, that's a healthy way to lose it, I would say. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's good. That's really good. You need to put a channel out too, so we can learn from you. Yeah. So did you change your eating habits, or what? How did you get there? All right, David, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be putting out more videos. I just put out a video I think it was yesterday, just about my third, fourth, and fifth week. I had to add them all together, and let me kind of explain that too before I go. So what I initially planned to do was to have a video every week, and I wanted to get like 4 videos, like have 4 videos ready to go. So I would be a month, so a month behind or ahead, a month ahead. I don't know how. Basically, I was gonna wait until I was in a month, and then I had 4 videos edited. Then I can release one, and then release another one, then release another one, and then release another one. So that's 4 weeks. So I'm 4 weeks ahead. There you go, 4 weeks ahead. And so then if anything went down or I had to do something, I still had time and I could release videos and then edit. But when I really started thinking about it, I'm like, there's situations where it might be time sensitive in a sense that it's Thanksgiving, so I want to do a ride on Thanksgiving, which I did a ride on Thanksgiving, but I haven't posted it yet. Why? Because I was behind. I was behind a few weeks, so I decided I'm just gonna put them all out there, and then I can start off fresh. So I'm in week 7 now. I just released 3, 4, and 5. So this week I'll release 6, and then I'll get to 7. And then after that, then I'll be caught up. And then when I'm caught up, then every week it'll be something new. And then also, I wanted to incorporate this into my live stream. So I'll have a live stream going every Monday, and I can talk about the last few rides that I had, or the rides that I had for that week. And so that's what I was kind of thinking too. So it makes a little more sense to me to do it that way. So I'll have it all set up where I'll still release an actual video of me riding, but on Monday I can come and I can talk about what happened on my rides over the week. So that's kind of what I was thinking. All right, so let's see. Okay, so it looks like we're coming to I think you guys are the only 2 guys on here right now, which is great. I appreciate it. I really like the fact that you guys are participating. And like I said, I hope that we can get more people on here and we can help each other out. And I've learned a lot today just talking with you guys. And China, I want to talk more about China though. Maybe we'll do one specifically about cycling in China, because I think that's interesting. All right, let's see. T-Bar, yes, I mostly eat chicken now, but I eat my favorite fast food stuff. 2, what's my other? You feel like I was dying. Okay, cool. So you changed it a little bit, looks like. Just moderation. All right. I thank you guys for joining me. And like I said, for those of you who catch this after the live stream, every Monday at 7 p.m. we're going to do a live stream. And it's just we're going to be talking mainly about cycling, and I'm open to other things too, diet and different ways to lose weight, different ways to get in shape, even indoor cycling like the Peloton, all that stuff. Like I'm interested in that stuff as well. So feel free to drop a comment if you have a question, if you have any. What was I going to say? Drop a comment if you have a question. That's pretty much it. And every Monday, we'll be putting these out. This is my first one, guys, so all right? I know it's a little rough, but we're going to work it out, and we'll work out all the kinks. And I'll be able to start doing some different stuff once I figure out how to do all these different live streams and stuff like that, where we can show videos and talk about different things and stuff like that. All right, so that's all I have. Thanks, T-Bar. Thanks, David. I appreciate you guys chiming in and helping me out with some of the issues and questions that I had. All right, so I will talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that, and see you later. Bye.